Hello and welcome to Kickstarter Talk. My name is Mr. Anderson and I am the voice of Written Sins. And today we're going to be talking about the Kickstarters to fall in love with and to fall into high gear with. As you guys notice, we now use potential warnings. N stands for nudity. VLB for violence. If we think something has extreme violence, we're going to start using those on our site to become more user-friendly and family-friendly for those who let their children watch certain things on our site for comic books but don't want them seeing certain things. We are coding and tagging the things that we feel are necessary. You'll see why nudity was used in this, but it's only a PG-13 moment. But keep that in mind. Okay, so let's get into the list. We're going to start with our pick of the week. Here is the book that will give you a trick and a treat. This is Tomb of Horror, the exclusive Kickstarter edition cover is right there. This is the Halloween edition, which collects 17 stories from indie creators from all across the world, with 92 pages of illustrated comics in this collection. Horror fans should find themselves in love with this book. This book will be published by Swampline Horror Comics. So every dollar counts. We talk about that every week, and we're going to continue to talk about it this week. As soon as the list is over, we'll wind up going into it just a little bit more. So that'll be one of the last things we talk about today. You still have a few hours to get behind one of the best Kickstarters that we've seen in a good while on the program. And that's not to put down any other Kickstarters. As a matter of fact, we've had some amazing Kickstarters on this program. So that goes to tell you the power of this Kickstarter that I'm going to talk to you about. And we do have a couple really good Kickstarters on this one that have very powerful messages. I'm very proud to call this creator, both creators, friends. This is both Alex and Richard Rivera. Great people, great creators, did a fantastic thing. We're going to learn more about Shadow Play #1 and how it deals with some powerful messages. 5 aliens leave into space in hopes of finding a new home. Let's find them a new home off Kickstarter by backing this Kickstarter and launching it off of Kickstarter. I'm going to talk more about that in a minute. Support the R4AU Autistic Jedi with a patch to show support. Every patch purchased now until next Dragon Con, or until they fund the trip to Dragon Con, will pay for that event, being able to bring R4AU, which is the official autism Jedi droid, to the Dragon Con in 2018. This also will show people that you are understanding of autism and you want to be able to spread the message of it. Who are afflicted by it and who have to deal with it in their everyday lives. The Fantasy Comics Midgard is in its last week on Kickstarter. We're going to talk more about this fantasy webcomic for a new age. We're going to talk about the Salvagers. That's right, Bob Sally's Wreckers are back for a conclusive collection of the complete paperback. We're going to talk more about that in a few minutes. Dragonstein. Get your Kickstarter boogie in with this half vampire, half monster. Dragonstein. This is how awesome this is. One sentence sells you. Dragonstein, half monster, half vampire, creates himself a new bride with disastrous consequences. What else do you really need? Fantastic pitch line right there. They sold it. Let's not forget to ever support our veterans with the Veteran Life comic. You'll see the amazing things that wind up getting created for Josh Gilliam. This goes on the Veteran Life profile on Facebook. There is a way to join the group. There's a way to support them. We're going to go over all that because, as always, we think veterans are very important to our community. We think of the people who support us and defend us. And with everything that's going on right now in the world, we are proud to have some amazing veterans in the United States of America and active servicemen. The Fourth Monkey, it's an anthology for awareness. We're going to talk more about that. I am involved in this project personally. I guess full disclosure is what everyone says, but no, I'm happy to be part of this and I'm very proud to be part of this. It's an amazing group of creators. Like, it's a who's who of indie comics, in my opinion. There's a few names missing that I would like to see on it just to make it even more powerful, but even without those names, I'll tell you what, just an amazing group of creators that I haven't seen with there's only 20 of us. I think 21 if you count the letterer, and 22 if you count the amazing editorial goddess Leah Letterman. Just amazing. A group of creators coming together to create this, just wow. And there's only 20 of us, and every single one just brings something to the table. It's amazing. We're going to go over more of that on the way. My editor on Jax the Anderson and They Call Us Monsters, No Road Home. This is his actual book. He wrote this. We're going to go over more about it. It's join a group of teens. They see a post-apocalyptic American resistance for the first time. Swords, spells, and monsters and mutants. Oh my. We're going to check out what that means. Joining us in the countdown, brand new this week as well with the other two that we just mentioned, is Cowgirl Ninja continues to fight Nazis in Japanese death matches. After an 8-year-old Abby's Polish family was abducted by the Nazis, her uncle has sent her on a 10-year journey to travel and train. She's adopted the lifestyle of the cowgirl and the skills of the ninja. She has learned in and outs of professional wrestling from the Heart Dragon in Calgary. Heart Dungeon. Now, I'm not sure if they have permission to use the Heart Dungeon, but that's still cool that they did that nod to it. For anyone who doesn't know the Heart Dungeon, it's a very big thing. It's Bret the Hitman Hart, and all those guys were very instrumental in forming a lot of the talent you see in wrestling now. So just amazing. And are you one of us? We're going to talk about what being one of us is right after we go through the individual Kickstarters. We'll talk about it. But before we do any of that, we just wanted to quickly talk about how to help Hurricane Irma victims. So this is how to avoid scams. I'm going to put this directly on my Facebook page for everyone to get it if you want it, information on which charities to give to and how to help people. These charities are very important. There's a lot of people who've been affected. And this is an opportunity to give back to people who might need help. It's great to support a Kickstarter. It's amazing to bring these things to life. But sometimes we also need to help out our fellow human beings and help them out. And this is a great article that I'm going to make sure winds up on my page, Rob Anderson, on Facebook. The only so far ANDERSIN as in sin on Facebook. Easy to find me if you don't know who I am, if you're watching this on YouTube. So let us begin going over all the amazing Kickstarters that we have. We don't have a lot this week. I don't know if that's just a side effect of me having dealt with Irma and all that, and I missed out on a few things. I put out some feelers. Not a lot of people responded. I just think it's a little slow on Kickstarter right now, which is awesome. It means we get to spend more time with some amazing Kickstarters. Like I said, this is a very jam-packed episode where we just have such amazing Kickstarters to talk about. So let's get right into it. Let's start checking out these amazing videos. There might be a delay at points. I apologize for that. There we go. So you guys can see we got some amazing stuff going on right there, don't we? Let's just go over this. Tomb of Horror. So we're going to go down the different things. And you guys can see there's the clean version and the dirty version. The reason I like this one so much, I'll be honest with you, is it always reminds me of Barbara. And keep that in your mind, because we're going to get to see something with Barbara in it this week as we're building towards my Kickstarter. And I know you guys are like, Rob, aren't you on Kickstarter every week now? I don't mean it to be that way. But yeah, I've been on Kickstarter a lot lately. But Tomb of Horror, just an amazing thing. Here are a couple just ideas of what you're going to be getting, different art styles. Now, Swampline is just an amazing group. To date, I don't think that there's ever been something I haven't enjoyed that they have done. I'm always excited to see it. Kim Roberts is behind it, and you guys know how fondly I constantly talk about Kim Roberts and how amazing I think that it is to be able to sometimes view her stuff earlier than you guys. She's a fantastic creator. She's one of the minds behind this. Exhumanation, just, I mean, the titles behind this, they make sure that there's a quality. There's also creativity. They're willing to take chances. They're willing to do amazing, fantastic stories that you might not see. And we recently started the tagline for Simsville Comics is that we're the other indie comics. And I almost feel like Swampline Comics does the same thing. They are also the other indie comics because, you know, it doesn't always have to be about people wearing tights. And don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on people who write the tight stories. I'm not hating on anyone who likes to write superhero stories. I've got a couple superhero stories I want to tell right now. That's not a dig. It's not anything that's nasty about people doing it. I'm just saying it is nice to have refreshing new titles that you only get to really see in indie comics a lot of times. You don't always get to see them. And they wind up at Dark Horse and they wind up at Image. You know, and they do get there, but they start in indie comics, a place where you can kind of expand and do these different stories that aren't always what everyone expects it to be. And that's how new great things happen, and you get to see a showcase of different art. I mean, this art right here really got me. It's Kim Roberts, Celethia and Celoto. I'm sorry, I know I'm pronouncing your name so horrible. I'm gonna just highlight it right now by doing that. And Chris Allen. Kim Roberts, Rockstar. This looks amazing. This art right here is just stunning and beautiful. Just wow. And you can just see Romance is Dead. It's all very different. It's all different styles. It's just, it's a tour of indie comic book creating and the different styles, the different type of way to talk about different titles and different stories. It's just amazing, really, what we can accomplish in indie comics by being able to do these stories. And I have no doubt that Kim Roberts is going to be someone who's going to be an executive, bringing these things together. I see her being a director. She's amazing. She's going to wind up, I mean, they should give her the new Tales from the Crypt. She should be on that with Chris Allen. They just know how to make these very interesting. I mean, even their teaser art is fantastic. So if you haven't backed it, and they only have, I believe, 30. Everyone close your eyes. We're going to do that quick spin up thing that I hate when you go to the top of the page really quickly. If you haven't backed this already, I honestly don't know what you're waiting for. There is, oh, never mind. Oh, well, I'm talking the whole time and it has expired in the time that you guys actually missed out on it. That's my bad, but I still like talking about it. Sorry if you can't back it now. It will be. Paige Alfred said Kickstarter reviews. Do you need your Kickstarter review? I can do that if you need it. I'll do it privately and tell you what I think you need it to do. But yeah, apparently it's gone off since the last time I had it. That's probably because my computer is lagging, so it didn't update the clock like it's supposed to. So I'm sorry you guys missed out on this one, but I am happy I got to share it with you. I'm sure there's a way that you guys can get it, and I'll reach out to Kim Roberts if you guys are interested, and I'll find out how we can get it. Let's just make sure. Okay, Shadow Play is still live, so that's good. Let's make sure. Okay. Yeah, all the hours have kind of changed, so it's something with my internet connection. I apologize for that. It is a great book. Shadow Play. It's an all ages fantasy adventure series. You only have 27 hours to go. Let's check it out.
I used to be afraid of the monsters I imagined hiding in the shadows, waiting for their chance to get me. Then I found out the shadows are far more than we ever imagined. They come from an impossible place, hidden from mankind's memory. Don't be afraid of what's hiding in the darkness. It's the shadows themselves who can kill you.
Okay, so one of the most powerful moments in this entire book, and I've gotten to read it, I've reviewed it, I've spoken very highly. We have showcased this like no other Kickstarter before, because I do think it has a power, and I can wrap that power up so quickly in just one image that they have in the actual Kickstarter. I think it's in their video. If you give me a second, I'll dig it out. So there's this moment where she's just letting people put, oh, there it is. Okay. So right here in the story, we see where she's looking at a picture of something she drew of herself. It's like a self-portrait. So she's encouraging the class to put up the words that they best associate with her onto the painting right in front of her, very bravely. And it goes to speak about the awkwardness of being a teenager and awkwardness of being alive sometimes. And I think it's awesome. I think it's fantastic. Really, I am very taken back by the power in this, because I've never seen something do that. Is there lag, Trent? I apologize if there's lag. We are having intermittent issues down here in Florida. So if there is lag, I do apologize for that. Hopefully the lag doesn't continue much. I am trying to monitor a bit as I'm doing this on my laptop, so I am trying to pay attention to it. So if you guys notice it's lagging and I need to repeat something, just feel free to tell me so I know to go back, because it is a bit of an issue down here in Florida. We're still having issues with towers and stuff after Irma. But I mean, it's a very powerful moment to be able to put yourself out there. And I just was so taken back by seeing this one scene. And this one scene really shows the power in it. You only have 27 hours to go, so now's the time to back it and to get involved in it. So make sure you take it. It froze on boobs. That's awesome. No complaint. You must be at the very beginning of the thing. Oh, well, welcome to Florida, Paige. Paige just got a house here. I don't know if you picked the right time or not. All right, so that's Shadow Play. We're going to talk about Last Arrival. Now, get on Shadow Play because you have a limited amount of time. So here is The Last Arrival. And this has only got 17 hours and can use your help greatly. So make sure you're sharing it by just going here, going to Facebook, and you're going to have to excuse. Oh, it loaded very quickly, so we're in luck. All right, so back to our video. Come on. Now I've got, there it goes. Video lag. Come on. It'll start playing. I feel like I should be doing it. There it is. Gotta love live programs. Let's go to full screen. Yeah, it's a little laggy right now. I apologize for that.
In The Last Arrival, 5 aliens flee their planet in a desperate attempt to find a new habitable home. Though our characters have conflicting ideas about the nature of their mission, they have to come together to face an unexpected encounter. Hi, my name is Daniel Prim, and I'm the writer of The Last Arrival. We get to know the characters, their sometimes hidden motivations, and the general theme of the series, where we question the boundaries of fantasy and reality through the eyes of our characters. We've been making independent comics for a while now, but nothing on this scale before. Every character design, every page layout is filled with meaning. So now that it's finished, we'd like to make sure that it gets the proper release it deserves. You can get the digital version for only £2, and every physical reward includes free shipping. The book is now completed, so once the Kickstarter is finished, I'll do my best to get it to you as soon as possible. Please contribute to your journey. You'll never forget. You can get the digital version.
Very hard to make a Kickstarter video, and as you guys are seeing today, things sometimes go wrong. You can't control what's gonna necessarily happen, especially when you're going live. So I give him a lot of credit. I thought it was really funny. I don't get why there's not enough love going out there. 89 backers, $1,318 is good. It needs to be better. We need to get this funded. This is a fantastic idea from a great creator, very energetic, very out there. You don't see that very often, where people are afraid to look foolish, because we live in a time where egos are king. So it's definitely awesome to see someone who's not so egotistical. And I love the fact that he tells you right away that every scene has been painstakingly made. So that makes me as a reader even more interested to look at the art, because now I'm just not looking at something I feel like has been produced to me to sell to me and to tell the story they wanted to tell, but instead he's building me a universe, and he's building me an entire tapestry of story that I need to pay attention to, because now every scene could have a hidden meaning that I'm not aware of. And you can see some of the art in this is just breathtaking. Just simply amazing. So, I mean, you know, I don't know why you guys aren't involved in it. Look, I mean, we're going to talk about it, so we'll talk about it now. The dollar. Remember I said every dollar counts, so here's why it counts. Obviously, The Last Arrival needs $1,250, right? So it doesn't sound like $1 will matter, but okay. For argument's sake, let's say that you're watching this. There's like between 8 and 20 people watching this at different times. So you go out, you support this. You go, hey, this looks great, but I'm tight on money, or I like the idea, but I don't really like aliens. It's not my thing, but I want to support the creator. So you go ahead and you back it. You give $1. So now this number 89 turns to 90. So now the next person who looks at it, they go, oh, wow, there's 90 people who believe in that. That's fantastic. Now, here's also something you don't realize, that when you're on Kickstarter and you're following your friends and your friends are following you, when you back something, it goes out to them in a chain email. I get it all the time. I see what my friends are backing. Some of them are backing some weird stuff, not judging, but they're backing things, and I get to see that way. And sometimes by seeing what they're backing, I'm able to offer assistance for their Kickstarters on our website, Written Sins. So I'm very eager to always see what my friends are backing, so I can keep that. So giving $1 helps spread that message. It helps not only get them more money, but it gets them more press. It's like we always talk about, what's the difference between sharing and liking something? Sharing is giving life to a project. It's giving life to something. Liking something is just, I like that. It's like a 16-year-old girl, like, oh my God, I like that so much. You don't want to do that. You want to share it. You want to give it to the world. You want to say to the world, look, I believe in this project. Come along with me, and let's together be able to bring this project to life. So that's your job. That's what I need you guys to do. I need you to get this project to come to life. I need you to share it. We only have 17 hours. Nothing is impossible in indie comics. There's always the big hits. There's someone out there who would love to back this and who's got an expendable income, who could give a good amount of investment. There's some fantastic rewards that can help him get there. So, I mean, you get the one, I want everything. There's a new, so it's fantastic stuff. Please share it. Please donate at least $1 to it. This is the Kickstarter this week. I would have had this as a pick of the week, but I've been personally busy with this whole Irma stuff, so that's on me, and I apologize. This was something I wanted to get onto the week thing. I couldn't help, but a hurricane interrupted it. But now I'm really asking guys, get behind this, help this creator out, and let's get this funded. So here's Midgard. Now these guys did like
hi everybody,
a 10-minute.
I'm Alexander Munoz,
and we've never watched the end.
And we are the co-creators
so we're gonna
of
jump ahead,
by Alex, but also by our tight group of friends.
Yeah, to tell a diverse story about communities, you can't just be a singular person.
Yeah. And we are a singular person.
Yes. There's so much to be said for Gray's work, but the biggest thing of all is that it always surprises me. I'm never ready for what I see, and I don't write undetailed scripts. But what comes out is never what I thought I was going to see. But it's always something that makes me so happy that I just want to see more of it. I just want to see more, and if this can become our real job, that would be perfect.
That'd be a good thing.
And I think that's it for us.
Yeah.
So we'll see you soon, and thank you.
Thanks.
And now, blooper reel. I'm gonna do another take just in case we fuck that up and like it doesn't end up being that way. So that being the case, you'll notice our Kickstarter rewards over on this side of this somewhere. No.
That's my nipple. There's only 3.
There's only 3, actually. Holy shit, you're right. There's only 3.
There's Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
Game of Thrones.
And Good Burger.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds, I mean, I wish we'd had 10 minutes to give to someone to watch their video, but we just don't have that amount of time. But they seem like cool guys. They seem very in love with the project, which is important. So it looks fantastic. I'm not a big, and I've said this before, I'm not a big Trolls and Lord of the Rings type fan. It's just not my fandom. It's not what I appreciate, but I could see value in this. It looks fantastic. It looks very interesting. I'm going to probably wind up getting myself the PDF of it. I think there's a PDF. Yeah, there it is. It does have. You can help out with $1. You can get the comic in a PDF form. You can see your name inside of a comic book. I've got my name in so many comic books. I'm like the slut of indie comics that way. I always like to do that, so I might just do that. And usually what I will do is I won't put Rob Anderson. I'll actually put writtensins.com. I embed advertising everywhere. But but that's that. Midgard's awesome. Check it out. And speaking of checking things out, let's talk about something really awesome. Let's talk about the Salvagers.
Hi, I'm Bob Sally, creator of Salvagers. While the art team is hard at work finishing up the conclusion of Wreck Raiders Part 4, you have the opportunity to jump on this Kickstarter. You can back it for just the conclusion if you've already been reading it, or you can get the Volume 2 as a whole. While this Kickstarter pre-sale is going on until the end of September, you're going to be able to get some awesome exclusive free stuff. When we reach the first 100 backers, those backers will get a free download. When we get to the next 200 backers, all 200 of those backers will also get a free download. So while the Kickstarter is going on, you're going to get free stuff. The video and then dive into the Kickstarter and check out all the rewards we're offering. And as always, thank you so much for the support.
For those who don't know somehow, Bob Sally is one of those guys who's constantly working, man. He is always grinding on just some amazing projects. We're going to be mentioning Bob Sally again. And it's funny, I saw he just joined us. I had actually gone to him at a point when I realized that I was going to be spending so much time on Kickstarter, not even meaning to, because I'd had Jax the Anderson, then we had And They Call Us Monsters, and then I'm going to have Fetish Babies. And then the fourth monkey wound up hitting, and I'm suddenly realizing I'm going to be on Kickstarter for like 5 months straight. And I reached out to Bob Sally, and I'm like, Bob Sally, I'm pulling you. Because every time I turn around, Bob Sally's involved in a project. He's writing it. He's all around. He's constantly making things happen. He's one of the best creators. And one of the things that I've always loved that he does is these amazing rewards and the props that he creates, the way he goes out of his way to really engage his fan base. Not sure if they show the picture. No, they don't. He has a giant wrench that he travels around with. It's amazing. I hope it shows up at New York Comic Con, but he does amazing things with his creations and his marketing ideas. He has the puppet that he goes around with. He's got these new pledge levels right here. I mean, how cool are those? You get T-shirts. You can get the little way that this is actually, I think that's sewn crochet, I believe it's called. Just amazing. And I love the fact that he's always willing to give back. Like you hear him, he's already involved, and he's very involved with trying to give back to the people who supported him. And I love that in a creator. I love seeing them interact with their fans, and he does that. He does that really well. I get to catch a lot of his videos, not always live, but I get to catch a lot of his videos. And you see he gives, this is amazing. I always love seeing this when on a Kickstarter, and I hate not seeing this when the crew is not involved. The creative team's not involved. And I love the fact that it's given out this way. And I'm so much of a fan of giving the credit to everyone that you need to be giving your credit to. And he does it so well. I can't talk nice enough about Bob Sally and his creations. So, you know, we're going to talk about him again in a minute. But for now, Salvagers, this is a great book. And now you're able to get it. And I mean, it's only a matter of time before this becomes a cartoon somewhere. I could see this as a cartoon, maybe even a live action movie. So this is one that's going to go places. It's already made its quote unquote nuts, as you would say. But it's still going. He's got 304 backers. There's a guy who's built an empire of fandom around him. And that's not easy on Kickstarter. The numbers on Kickstarter very often. This is an amazing amount of people backing him. You see people get higher numbers, but they don't get 304 people. That means that he's getting a lot of people coming, and they're not necessarily spending a huge amount of money, and that's a very awesome thing. It's awesome because he can add incentives that will help him boost it, and he could actually get more money if he wanted to, but it also shows his fandom. So when I come here, and let's say I don't know Bob Sally, and I'm just looking at a Kickstarter, and I'm deciding for myself, not for the show, but just deciding for myself, do I want to back this person? When I see 304 people have backed it, I got to be on it. I got to see what everyone's so excited about. And I mean, you see the art, in the way that this is put together. And this is a trade, and I already have a couple of these books. I already know the story, but I got to trade anyway because I think it's fantastic. I love the way that the art is done. I love everything about it. I'm a huge fan of Bob Sally. If you're still watching, you know that. Just trying to still get him to do an interview. We've only been talking about it a year. We'll get it, though. New York Comic Con, I think we're going to get it. But, I mean, this is an amazing project, and now is the time to be part of it. Caesar said he's only had around 90 backers, but yeah, this is, ironically for me, Fetish Babies, we had 100 backers. I think a couple were removed so they did non-payment, but we had 100 backers. That was my best one. I thought Jax would have more. Like, I see 304, and I'm like, when I see Bob Sally at New York Comic Con, I'm going to have to, like, follow him around and see what he does. Because here's someone to learn from. For 90 backers, that's a good number, Caesar. It's an awesome number. Congratulations. We're going to move on to keep the show going because, as always, I'm a very talkative bitch, and we've been going for a while. But just definitely check out Salvagers. I'm actually going to take the time and tweet it out to the world. Tweet, tweet. There we go. Going on written sins. I already sent this tweet, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to change the tweet. We're going to do get this. And now suddenly, it's a new tweet. Haha. So much for your protocols, Twitter. I'm going to just go ahead and share it on Facebook. Never take no from Twitter or Facebook. But listen to people. If humans say no, listen. Don't be that person. No means no. All right, so we're going to talk about Drakenstein. Now, this is the one that I thought was amazing. The New Lady, yeah, I saw that. The New Lady of Death is just absolutely killing it. You know who also killed it recently? Eastman, the guy who, I think it's Eastman. Yeah, it was Eastman from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Just made a killing on it. And that's awesome because it shows these bigger companies that they're missing out on what people really want. You know, I say it all the time. The reason we have the same bullshit all the time is because people make the decisions. They don't let the human beings, the fans, make the decision. If you let more fans make the decision, Transformers would be a much better franchise, wouldn't it? Maybe there, I don't know, they'd actually show Dinobots for 10 minutes. But on to Drakenstein. Tomb of Horror. Remember, we're saying Tomb of Horror in this show. Bottom Line Comics. Amazing creators. That means that you got Kim Roberts and you got Chris Allen behind this. Amazing creators. The horror company that will leave you in stitches. Drakenstein. Starring. Starring Drakenstein. And just amazing idea putting Dracula and Frankenstein the monster together. And then we have Wolfman right here. You have the Mummy. And I've said that if Kim Roberts wants, anyone who backs this, that watches the show, I'll send you a PDF and they call us monsters if you back this, because I'm so impressed by this. I love the fact of what they did. Fans of the opera. Let's back all your favorites in one comic. Just another amazing idea. Kim Roberts never slows down for a second. And the idea that they're building, I like the little dragmobile. The dragmobile. There's the girl. The rewards include. Let's see about this. Now they do a great job in Swampline of making these amazing, unique collections of posters. Celebrating some classic things like this. It's just amazing how they do that. I believe I'm getting that. I wound up backing it. I think on this one. Okay. That alternate covers. I'm usually not a fan of the old covers, but Swampline does a great job. And that's Drakenstein. Caesar, I'll be with you in 1 second. I'm going to answer Caesar has a question. It's an interesting question. I just wanted to quickly just show you guys the amazing amounts of the rewards as we're going by. Some of them are all gone. Just amazing, amazing creative team behind it. And as I answer Caesar's question, I'll keep rolling this up and down. But Caesar asked a question. I'm just going to go over my laptop. so I make sure I get the entire question. Give me 1 second, Caesar. I'm opening it now so I can see the entire question. Because on the iPhone, I actually don't see the entire question. So I want to make sure I get the question right. All right. So Caesar said, do you think a video on Kickstarter with video showing the actual people is best? Like, I'm camera shy, so sometimes my videos just images, text, and music, etc. Watching Dragonstein, it looks like that. Okay, so my opinion on doing a Kickstarter video. I don't particularly like being in front of the camera. I always joke that I have the looks for radio and the voice for radio as well. I think that being on the camera doesn't add a lot. Ultimately, when it comes to comic book creating, I don't think that it adds as much as people think it does as a personal touch, unless you have that fan base. If you have that pre-established fan base who want to see you, who you've been talking to, who get warm when they see you, then I think it becomes important. So when you're a Bob Sally, when you're a Dirk Manning, I think that they do want to see you on the video. When you're newer, I think you can get away with just showing the images. The perfect mix, I think, to honestly do it, is to be on the camera very sparingly. You could see Bob Sally did a perfect job of that. He didn't stay on the camera. So I do think after a while, watching a person's very annoying, and not seeing the art. Like, I've seen a lot of Kickstarters fail that don't include in their video their art. And I see less Kickstarters fail that never had them in the video. So it's a catch-22. I don't think it's bad doing a cameo in the video. I like what Daniel Prim did with his Last Arrival as we were looking for it. He didn't spend a lot of time on it. He goofed around about being on it. I think that was amazing. I don't think you have to be on the video, though, to be honest with you. I don't think that's a necessity. I think if you have a strong story, if you have, I mean, because think about it. Here's the perfect way to put it. How many times you guys actually see the writer of the movies you like? How many of you actually can mentally picture the writer or even the artists of your favorite comic books or favorite movies that inspired, the comic books inspired? How many people you actually can you picture that person? I know we can all think of the great Stan Lee, and we can all think about you know, Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo. You can think of those names because they've become very big, and you got Neil Adams, you know, and I can go down the list. I can just keep going. But for the most part, we don't know what the creators look like a lot of times, especially writers. Writers are a lot more in obscurity. So do you need to be in a video? Absolutely not. If you don't feel comfortable being in a video, my advice to you is stay off of the video. Because if you don't look comfortable, that could be a really bad sign. For Fetish Babies, I put Alyssa in the video. She's the co-creator. She read things for it, and we cut back and forth from her. And I do think that helped soften it and made, you know, having a woman involved with it kind of gave people a pause, like, okay, maybe this is something powerful. So that's what I think about it. It can be useful if it's done right. It can be annoying if it's just people sitting around and talking, and it becomes like a more of a podcast than a Kickstarter video. Do what you feel is comfortable, and my advice to you is never have a video go longer than about 2 minutes. 3 minutes is pushing it. I won't show a video that's more than 3 minutes on this program because I think it just gets annoying to a certain point, aside from an anthology. Anthology is a different thing entirely because you have so many creators. Because you have so many creators, adding extra time, I understand. You're talking about 20 different creators. So everyone should at least get 30 seconds. Should at least be there. So that's it. Charlie, Chuck Pinet, I think that's how you say your name, Chuck. Having the people involved on the video can give it a personal touch, which is helpful, but I wouldn't say it's necessary. Yeah, Charlie and me agree. I don't think it's necessary. I think what's necessary is you showing the art, talking about the story, establishing why someone should back it. And don't tell them how good you are. I see a lot of creators doing that. Don't tell them how good the story is. It's not your job to tell someone how good the story is. It's your job to sell the story. And there's a big difference there. And you learn this from wrestling. You get to talk about how good you are once you've established a line. If you're launching something, if it's issue number 1, you don't get to talk about how good it is yet. You want to know why? You haven't had fans be able to say that. Let the fans determine what's good or not. You don't do that as the creator. What you do is you talk about it. Perfect example, Drakenstein. If Drakenstein was mine, I would be all about the fact, and I love that they did it, is the half vampire, half monster, and I would go with that. I'd be like, look at this unique idea. Look at, you know, I came up with this idea. This isn't my idea. I'm just, of course, saying this is Kim Roberts' idea with Chris Allen. But I would say I would lean into that, just the creativity of bringing a new take on the monsters. We're making them more less scary and more fun and playful. We're bringing Dracula with Pinot. Oh, is that how you say it? Pinot? Is that pronunciation? Charlie just told me his last name. You don't hear a last name, and it's so weird because I'm Anderson. My name's so basic and easy to say, but so I don't get that a lot. No. Oh, you want to hire a model, Caesar, to do your video? If she's hot or if he's hot, I don't know which kind of model you're going for. It could help, actually, especially if you somehow have them cosplay something. Believe it or not, that could help. That's not a horrible idea at all. I actually think that's a pretty clever idea. It might be something to look into. But as always, it has to be used right, like we're talking about right now. It's all about how you sell it. One of the things that I love about wrestling is you really get to see how people do promos, and a lot of people have said I'm very good at being at the table. I seem like a natural. I've been watching wrestling my whole life. And to the credit of Paul Heyman told this story about about Dusty Rhodes, about how he went out one time and he did this promo and he thought he killed it. And when he got back, Dusty Rhodes was like, well, what did you sell? And he hadn't mentioned the pay-per-view. He hadn't mentioned a future appearance, but he'd only played a character. And that's what you guys got to remember. When you're on a video, when you're doing something, you're selling your book. You're selling yourself as a writer. So don't talk about how good you are. Don't talk about how good your stuff is. Talk about how beautiful your art is instead. Talk about how, well, writing it, what you went through, what inspired you. Tell them why it's important. Don't tell them how good you are. Leave that to rappers. They're really good at telling everyone how good they are. Don't be, unless you're a rapper, unless that's what you're doing, you're being a rapper, don't do that. And if you're not a rapper, do the honest thing. Be humble. Because you're trying to reach fans. You're trying to reach people that you want to back you. So give them a reason to back you. Give them a reason to like you. And give them a reason to like the project. Be honest and humble. No one wants to be told what's good. You see that online all the time with fanboys. And I think one of the biggest mistakes is that people say, this is the best take on this ever. No, it's not the best. Because you know why it's not the best? Because you can't determine what people are going to like. Put 50 people in a room, those 50 people will never agree on everything. It's, even if you thought they all were the same person, you're still going to get different opinions in the room. Keep that in mind. So when it comes to doing a Kickstarter, talk about the idea, talk about the team, talk about the skill, talk about that, but don't talk about how good it is. Don't tell people what they have to like. Make them fall in love. And Drakenstein's a perfect thing to fall in love with. My God, it just struck me, putting the monster and the vampire together, wow. And I thought I did something unique with them. They call us monsters. And I saw this and I was like, oh, hat off, that's better than mine. Speaking of things that are amazing, let's talk about the Veteran's Wife. Veteran's Wife is very important to me. My father served in the military. I've known many great Americans who have served in the military, and I think we do a horrible fucking job of supporting anyone who served when they get home, and that's what I love about the Veterans Life. I am planning to donate, more than likely, New York Comic-Con tickets to the Veterans Life, which will go to veterans, so I'm very thrilled to be part of that. I've donated comic books to them at this point. I've donated shirts, I believe, to them, and I'll continue to be doing that as time goes on. And I ask you to do the same. You can go to Veterans Wife right here on Facebook, back it, and just start getting involved. It doesn't take a lot to help people. But trust me, we need to do a better job with veterans who risk their lives protecting us across oceans. It's our job to take care of them when they cross the ocean to come back home. The Fourth Monkey Anthology. Okay, let's take a look at the video. Now, that's the lag. There it goes. The fourth monkey is the one who is not blinded, but is aware and struggles to maintain its sanity as it reasons with the world that will not take notice. Can it succeed before it's too late?
Fourth monkey
An Anthology for Awareness is a 100-page book featuring 8 short stories centered around environmental and social issues. The contributing creators picked subjects based on that central theme, some with very personal ties, and went to work telling their stories, combining fantastic storytelling with beautiful art. There are a lot of problems in the world, and we can't possibly tackle them all. Fourth Monkey is our attempt to tell stories that are pulled right out of the hearts of the creators, and attempt to bring some awareness to them. And while you may feel stronger about some than you do others, the quickest way to someone's heart is through story. So if you finish this book with some anger towards the way things are, the slightest thirst for some more knowledge, or were simply entertained, then I like to think that we did our job.
So here's a creative team. Look at all those names. Remember I talked about Bob Sally? We just saw him on the program. He just stopped in the chat room for a minute. Then you got Brian Hawkins. If you know that name, he's the one who did the American Kingdom, which came out right after the election, which you couldn't have planned it better. Amazing story. Chris Mad, everyone knows I've worked with him in the past. I plan to work with him again. We're actually doing something for the upcoming Fetish Babies 2. You guys get to hear that first. I haven't talked about it yet, but we're working together again. My friend Danielle Farron, who got me on the project. I should actually tag him and ask him to come on. See, I think I saw him a few minutes ago. Tag something, I got an update. But he actually brought me onto this project. Great creator. He did with Chris Mad the Untold saga, which we talked about a few months ago. Oskin. I'm not sure. I've seen his name all over. I'm just not off the top of my head. I don't know what he's done. James Eric Hudson is a friend of mine. Great guy. Excited. He's my actual artist on my project. We're gonna go over all these people. As a matter of fact, let me go over to that, and let's finish this video. Let's do this properly. We're actually gonna go through everyone. So here's the fourth monkey. So you get the classic: hear no evil, say no evil, speak no evil. So every one of these stories are very important to all the different creators. We all wrote something that affected us, and we thought it was important to talk about out loud. So the first, these are one-page previews that we all worked on. Every one of them was lettered by HDE. This one is called Dark Waters by James E. Roach, who actually runs this, and the art is by the Huss Oskin. Ocean Pollution. And you can see that crossbones with the oil, like how powerful is that moment. This is actually from Chris Mad and Danielle himself. I should actually tag Chris Mad. And we have also Shauna Mad. Now, they did Chris with a K. Chris is actually with a C, if you noticed that in the video. If you want to look him up online. He's actually C-R-I-S-S, not K. But just amazing. Look at the art. Chris Mad always impresses me. I have got to get to work with him in a full-length comic. That's like one of my goals right now. Is when I'm done with my current wave of creations, and I'm probably going to take a little bit of time off to go back to writing newer stories during the winter, and then start production again in the spring. And I hope to be able to work with him next year on something. I do look forward to that. So just amazing. That's Painted Prey, by the way. It's about poaching. I know Danielle's an avid animal lover, so I think that's what inspired this to kind of come together. No Going Back. This is about suicide by Brian Hawkins and Christoph Harris. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Apologies if I'm not. Then we have Empty Bottles. It's about alcoholism. It's from Kelly Bender, Raphael, and Rakad. And Thomas Majovuk. I'm sorry, I cannot get that last name, but just amazing work. Great color, great coloring. I love it. I like the shadow context in it. I look forward to seeing that. Some of these I haven't even seen. When you're in an anthology, you only really get to see your part of the anthology. This is my fourth anthology being part of, and hopefully the first one that fully makes it to print. The other three are stuck in production hell. But here we are on Kickstarter, so you guys are going to help us bring it to life. So here we go. This one is about, it's called The Scout. It's about pesticides. It's from Madeline Holly Rosing. and Ed Jimenez and Coat Caravella. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing these names wrong again, but this is for those. Madeline is the one behind the Boston Metaphysical Society, if that name seems familiar, and some other great titles, but that was the big one that I know her from. And it looks amazing. The art, this is just, you look at it and it's just stunning art. Damaged, and here we go. This is Bob Sally. This is about mental abuse, and this is something I'm actually looking forward to for this teaser that they gave us. If I wasn't in this project, this would have sold me right here. And look, it's actually mine. Sometimes referred to as internet trolling. It's about online bullying. It's me and James Eric Hodson, not Hudson, but Hodson, got together. The basic concept, now anyone who's watched the news knows that there was a girl who's being convicted of actually convincing someone to commit suicide. And before I had actually seen that, it was on my radar, that was kind of a driving force of the story, is that I know internet bullies and I know how people like to say anything and they go, oh, well, it's not real life. So as much as it might be about her being the internet troll, I also wanted and wrote it to feel like an examination of all of us, how we're all acting, how we view social media versus real life. Like the idea that people look at, and I think this is just a problem society that we have, and it's being the creator of this, I can tell you that I think one of the problems that we have is that we treat social media like a video game, and we don't realize it's not a video game. It's real people that we're talking to, and half the time, and I'll you know, and I've said this online, if I was standing in front of you, you wouldn't say what you're saying to me online to my face. And I know a lot of people instantly think, oh, what, you think you're a big tough guy? And I don't think it's that. You know, when I say that, I don't see myself as being this big person that people are going to be scared of, and that's why they're not going to say it to my face. Well, the reason I say it is because I think that they'll see a human being. And I think that once we associate our words with a human being, we realize that we could hurt that person with something that we've said. I think that that becomes a little bit more powerful. And that was that was deliberately what I was trying. And I hope when you guys read it, that you'll see that I spent a lot of energy to do. And I really hope that you guys appreciate that, because that was really something that was important to me, that I have that in this story, this feeling of accountability for us all and what that accountability can and does mean. So I really do hope that you guys see this and you wind up leaving it with this feeling of, wow, that's kind of amazing. You know, like, I mean, you can hear my son just woke up. The case, this is, you know, it's very powerful to me, that the idea that we could be doing something that could be hurting someone and not knowing we're hurting them. And I think that's important, and I think we forget that. And I hope I did a good job with that. It's called Social Consequences. It's about online bullying, sometimes referred to as trolling, but it's a little bit more deep than trolling in itself. Rats in the Kitchen is by, it's a political polarization. It's by Russell Notel and Nick Torres. It doesn't give us a lot right here, but I'm sure it's powerful because it's Russell. So I think there's a lot more to go there. It's an interesting, you know, seeing a rat being in the kitchen getting the milk. It's interesting. Everything in this is interesting. It's a powerful piece. I mean, I don't know how you don't get behind it. I like the art behind it that's been used for the promo. Some interesting things, some interesting takes on the fourth monkey. And you can see, you know, the monkey himself, the fourth monkey with the mind's eye right there, is attacking all the different ones. The one that can't see is tied up. The one who can't hear, his ears are bleeding. The one who can't talk is having its teeth removed. So that's interesting. You see the different things. The May the Fourth be with you. The fourth monkey, get it? Come on, you guys. I know you guys got that one. But amazing things. James E. Rocher, for those who don't know, did the Wretches. Daniel Faraday, The Untold, as I said. HDE, Salvagers in the Shelter Division. Bob Sally is Salvagers in the Shelter Division. Brian Hawkins is American Kingdom. And Angelica Reigns the Faith. Amazing book. Artist Ed Jamines, Unit 44. Chris Mad, The Untold, Voda. He worked on Fetish Babies as well. One other thing that I can't think of off the top of my head that he did, but he does great work, just outstanding. Hus Alzan, which I hope I'm saying that right, did Hellraiser. Bisteria, I know I'm pronouncing that wrong, I apologize. And then 5 Ghosts Sleepwalking. James Eric Hudson is working on some amazing things. He did Chad the Fat Kid, top Star Wars stretch cards. He's also doing this, and he's working on a cool kids all ages project with a kid and a dinosaur, so stay tuned for that. Josh Jensen is colorist. He worked on Snarl. Kelly Bender had done Snell and Cyberforce Antics. Oh, sorry, Artifacts. Then you have Coat Carjavel has worked on Cluster and Deliverance. Madeline, we talked about the Boston Metaphysical Society. Artist Nicholas Todos has done The Fear Diaries and Franklin and Ghost. Raphael Andred has done, well, they don't really have a title there for him. I don't know why. Rob Anderson, who's me, has done Jax the Anderson, which I noticed they only used 1 X. Jax is 2 X's for you guys watching. JAXX. I also did Fetish Babies. I have work in anthologies, and I have done And They Call Us Monsters, and I've done Gothic Blue, and I've done New York Reporter, and I've done Dark Justice, and I have other stuff coming, like Fetish Babies 2. We're talking about that soon. Russell has done Katrina Hates Dead Chick, Ichabod Jones, Monster Hunter, and Monsters and Other Scary Shit, which I'm surprised they didn't mention considering they used the actual cover art. You have artist Stan Yank, the Boxmaster. Skeleton Inspectors are his titles. Sean Ahmad has done different coloring on different projects, working along with Chris Mad. I think, I'm not sure, I don't want to speak out of turn, but I think she's worked on a recent project with Chris Mad. And colorist Majavanik Thomas, I think I've got that right, has done some amazing coloring this. You got some amazing digital things. And now I've said this, and I'm going to say this again on this program. There is a reward level up here. All the way up here. Hold on. We're getting there. Okay. So there is a reward level that offers a bunch of different comic books where you could get, I believe, I'm trying to see the creator connection. There's, I believe, it's in the PDF file over here. Okay, here it is. So here it is, the creator bundle. Okay, so now this was offered. No one asked me if I would throw in a book, but because you guys watch this show, and you know, I appreciate you guys, I'll do this for you. Anyone who backs 15 or more. So either you do once you do the digital reward or higher, you tell me that you backed it, I'll verify it, asking Danielle or asking James. And if you verify that you've backed it for 15 or more, what I'll wind up doing is I'll wind up sending you a PDF of any book that I currently have. You want Jackson Anderson, you want And They Call Us Monsters, you want Fetish Babies, you want something older that I've done like NYR, maybe the Dark Justice Gothic Blue books, the short stories I did for them. Any one of those are yours. All you have to do is back this project, and I'll throw that in as an add-on. Just for watching this show and being part of this, you guys will get that for free from me. So you'll not only get the, 250 pages. So, I mean, if you're getting one of my books, a lot of my books run 32 pages. Like, And They Call Us Monsters is 32 pages. So it's like a book and a half, almost 2 books compared to some of the indie comics out there. So it's much more than 20 pages. So yeah, back it and you're getting it from me. How awesome is that? We're gonna move on real quick. I just wanted to just show really quickly the packages down here, because I think that there's some interesting stuff in one of the packages that I just wanted to do. I'm trying to scroll slowly. All right, so here you go. The digital rewards are awesome in this. You get physical rewards. Here's a physical reward where you get the books and 7 digital books. Okay, here it is, the stretch card. So remember we were talking about the online troll, the online trolling right there. See, these are cards based upon all of our works, based on an artist thing by Ryan Browning. I think it's powerful. I think it's awesome. I was actually going to ask if I could maybe somehow get them myself without doing 55. But I think they're cool. I want to know if I can get one for this. So I'm intrigued for that. So I wanted to show you guys that because I thought it was awesome. So that's the Fourth Monkey. I mean, powerful. I mean, you saw the list of creators. You saw everyone who's behind it. It's just an amazing unit of creators, just amazing creative group together. There is no reason not to back this. You should be backing this. If you haven't backed this yet, shame on you. Shame. How could you call yourself an indie backer? 130 people have beat you to the punch. It is now your turn. So stop what you're doing. Well, wait till the end of the video. Then at the end of the video, go run out and back the Fourth Monkey. See, Jax agrees. Jax just said, yeah. Why haven't you backed it yet? He's 2.5 and he knows to back it. Why haven't you guys backed it? Moving on. No Road Home. Let's watch a video. I'm sure you're all tired of me talking.
Willis Wills, hold your breath. Flakes of skins on the threadbare.
Hey everyone, I'm Trent, the president and CCO of Prank Angel Studios. Douglas Brown, visual inker and all-around creative guy. And not too bad looking, here working for him. We're coming together right now just to talk to you for a second about our latest Kickstarter for No Road Home. It's our issue 0 for our world that we're trying to push, Dawn's Early Light. Just want to take a couple of moments of your time to talk about how much of a pleasure it's been to work with Mr. Brown on this. Really quick, why are we here? Why are we asking for your support? And it's because, man, it's expensive, not just to get it drawn, but colored in the wording and to get it printed in the cover. Thank you, Mr. Gooch. To get it all done and orchestrated together, it takes a little time, it takes a little funding. And so far, we've got most of it done, just a couple of pages and the pay for the printing, that's it. So that's why we don't need that much. We're only asking for a little bit. Just need your time to like us, share us, tell your neighbor, your co-worker, everyone about us. And at this moment, I'm going to give Mr. Brown a chance to talk about his approach to the comic book, to the art, and what he's trying to do with bringing these characters to life.
Okay, well, my background in illustration has mainly been storyboards for film and television, and I've done a few graphic novels in the past, mainly slice of life type dramas and political satires. So for me, this project is really exciting because it's going to be my first chance to really world build and create these fantastic sets and try to incorporate relics of our world 300 years in the future and see what's left and how people interpret or misappropriate things like stop signs and stuff like that. Real simple stuff that you wouldn't think of, and how it has significance and meaning in this new world.
That's what's really cool is he's able to take the things that we've talked about. Hey, is there any way you could add this to the background, and parallel this, and make it look like that? And he has no problem. And it's such a pleasure to work with him. And it's how can we be here together? Because that's right, we're in Texas. We both live in the same state. He's in Austin, I'm in San Antonio, and to be able to do this is a real blessing. It says something about our commitment and the investment you're making in us, that we'll be at conventions to see you. And we're talking to you, Canada.
will be all over the state. We're willing to make that sacrifice and to work and come to you and bring this book autographed to your front door. It's not a problem. One last thing, our website's officially up, so at crankyAngelStudios.com, you can go there and check out some of our artwork and concepts, a couple of pages we've got posted. And also to go to the About section and click on this beautiful mug right here. You'll see all the links and the little things that you can click on and go to see other things and other projects that he was talking about. That's how I found him. And that's how you can find him too if you want to even do something for you. He is available. We're all about promoting from inside, promoting local, promoting Texas, but also, man, it's America. And, you know, we'll step out to the next stage after that. But right now, one thing at a time. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for taking your time and watching this video and being with us. We hope to see you soon, and thank you for your support. All right. See you.
I just gotta say, America, motherfucker. That's what. Every time I hear it's America, I get all excited.
Hold your breath. Flakes of skin.
Okay, I'm not sure if they have the right to use that song, but I know Kickstarter, Facebook will get pissy, and so will YouTube if I keep letting it play. So we're just going to shut that down for a minute. Jax is joining us in the living room. If you suddenly hear destruction and mayhem, he's finally woken up from his nap. He's got a bug bite that's bothering him. So, Chuck, P.U.? How you? Oh, now you got me all screwed up, Chuck. I have to look back to see how he said how to pronounce it now. Let's see. Where are you, Chuck? Hold on. I'm gonna look up how to do this. But Chuck, who worked on editing, and they call us monsters, and he worked on Jax the Anderson with me. Hold on. I guess it wasn't much. All right, so like I said, he worked with me on a bunch of projects now. Thinking back on it, we've been working together. We worked very hard on, and they call us monsters. And I'll probably work with him again as editor. I enjoyed the process. And they call us monsters. We definitely went in and tried to make it as fantastic as we could. Pinot is how he says to say it. So that's how his last name is, Pinot. So I look. But a fantastic project. It looks amazing. I remember, I'm sold already. I'm sold. The reference I could make is that Christian Bale movie that the name escapes me, when he's in World War II, meets the future and meets these amazing different creators. It's a great team put together. It's definitely a story that we've seen told before, but this is in a new, unique fashion. It also reminds me of remember that they even redid it. The Thor was in it, where there are people from a small town that gets invaded by a different country. It reminds me kind of that. It's just very badass, very interesting. I love the fact that they talk about how a street sign might look completely different to them because they've never had to use it in that way, and how the world's like revolution also. It's just, this is the type of story that I like. And I remember I told Chuck, and I was dealing with Irma, and I was like, dude, when I'm done with Irma and I'm all caught up, you got to tell me about these reward levels, because I want to know what to get, which is going to be awesome. Because this to me really just is fantastic, the way that some of the art is, and it's just amazing. The realism in it is fantastic. I like the setup, and again, celebrating the team. Look at that. I love groups that celebrate teams. Jax does too. I absolutely love it. They celebrate the creators on it, behind it. Chuck is the writer of this particular comic book. He's the one who puts the words into play. He's the creators, writers, and editors. Pinot known each other for years, so they're bordering over a mutual love for comic books. Just great people. Trent Dugas. I know I pronounced that wrong, Trent. Sorry. I like that picture of Chuck. This clipboard makes me look busy. That's awesome. But and if you'll notice, yes, that is an actual PDF of Jax the Anderson. which you can actually get during this. I have volunteered it. You can get Jax the Anderson. That's right. Jax the Anderson is a reward on this. So that's how much I believe in Chuck. I believe in what he's doing. I'm a fantastic fan of his. I love working with him. So get that support out and support my boy Chuck. This does look like an amazing project. I'm very proud to see it taking off very well so far. Almost halfway there, 23 days to go. Expect me to be talking a lot about this. We're going to be doing it again. We might not watch the full video again. It was a little long, longer than I like to run on the program. Because we had a shorter program, I had the opportunity and the time, but we are running along now. So I do want to get to a few things. We're going to quickly check out the last Kickstarter on our list. It has no video. So we're going to quickly scroll it. It has $330 on a $560 budget. It looks interesting. I'm not really familiar with Cowgirl and how that associates with anything. This is a third issue. There's a video right here. I'm not sure it's in English. We'll take a quick look, and we'll see if it's in English or not.
Finalmente férias. Vou ser uma grande escritora. Vou começar hoje mesmo. Agora sim! Sou uma grande escritora. Sou uma grande escritora.
Okay, I have no idea what that's saying. Looks cool, though. We're going to talk more about this next week. I'm going to try to reach out to the creator and ask them if they could give us a little bit more background on it. But for now, I'm going to read you. We read the one part here, but we didn't read this one. So let's see this. Cowgirl has already rescued her grandpa from the island of Dr. Molot, fought off half-man lizards, and acquired her own flying horse, and now won her first Japanese death match in Tokyo. See Cowgirl Ninja #2. Now it's time to rescue her brother, Cal, not the same guy who does Alter Life, which stay tuned. But instead, Cal is a world-famous soccer player who's been trained his whole life to play for the Italian national team at the behest of Mussolini. So apparently Mussolini's back alive. So we're gonna have to check this out. We're gonna have to see what's going on with this. We had an add-on in the middle of the show. I'm gonna call that up now. We were asked to look at this one. War is Hell. So we're just gonna quickly mention that. And there's also another one I believe that we had. Which I want to get to in a second. I'm trying to call it up. So War is Hell was mentioned during it, and we're going to take a quick look at it. It didn't make the list because no one asked us to put it on the list. Remember, we only put things on the list that we're asked to, so keep that in mind. It has some pretty good art. Remember, I'm just seeing this for the first time, so I've never seen this before. I like the art. That guy reminds me of that guy from DC Comics. I want to say his name's Catman. I remember he was like a boxer or something like that. So that's what that guy reminds me of. Looks like it's a well set Kickstarter. I know we were being asked by Paige. Oops, we don't want to see that. Let's see. There we go. Sorry. Paige wound up saying, I'm trying to see her last name. That's how we got the switch. Paige Alfred. So Paige Alfred gave this to us today to check out. I was looking for a Paige Alfred, okay, is one of the creators of it. So there's Paige. And there's Andrew Hines. So this is their Kickstarter. This is what's going on right now. I don't know if they want us to add it to the list. I suggest reaching back out to us if they want to add it to the list, but this has definitely been interesting to take a look at. It looks like it's put together solidly. We'll even give it a video play. Buffering.
Indie Alliance.
Now, Powerverse, if you remember, brought together POM, which was recently funded a Markel thing. I don't think anyone's talking. I'm going to lower that because, as always, we can get in trouble if someone's using music that they're not allowed to. And I don't know who's using it or not, so I don't want to imply it. We just turn it off on everyone if you use music. I know you're allowed to, and some people suggest using music, but for us running these videos, it becomes problematic, both on Facebook and on YouTube. So, by the way, never make a deal with the devil. Okay, it's a good little tidbit. Then again, look what happened with Ghost Rider. It's kind of badass. So the pitch line I'll read. Well, see, here's the thing: if I play it for only a few seconds, it doesn't kick me things. War is Hell, a special ops team from Dime 6 with a hellbound hero from Dime 5, Chess Cerberus, a powerful dual Kickstarter. Powerverse dual Kickstarter. So I guess they're two at once, if I'm getting this right. It's Chess and Cerberus. So it's two different comics at one time. I guess they don't cross over. They're just two different ones, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it looks like two different separate comic books. So that's what this is. So check it out. We'll see if they want to be on the show next week. It looks good, Paige. It looks good. Just as we're going out, we have, let me see if I can get this one up for you guys. I'm trying to switch it over and see if I can't get it. All right. It's a Kickstarter called Angels and Gas Masks. Let's see if we can't get that to come up so we can take a look at it. Now this was also given to us in our comment section. No, that is not it. Sometimes the search for Kickstarter really sucks. Just saying, I don't like it some days. Makes things very difficult at moments. Like right now where I can't seem to get it to look it up. All right, I don't know why this isn't getting up the way I want it to. Why are you being difficult with me? All right. Let's do this. Let's see if maybe it calls something up. That's why we're in accessories. We don't need to be in accessories, not sexories, but accessories. Am I spelling angels wrong? I wouldn't doubt it. All right. So here's how we'll do it. We're going to call up my Facebook because I want to show it on the program. I'm going to make sure that we show it on the program. So here we go. We're going to head over here to my page. And we're going to check out the comments section. I have to go to the original one because I shared it with someone. Okay, so here we go. Why does it not have all the comments? Don't you hate that when something's not working the way you want it to? So here we go. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. I have to go to the original one. And now we're hearing me. Okay, so here we go. Hopefully that's not causing horrible feedback.
Why does it not have all the comments? Don't you?
There we go. Okay, shut me up. Here it is. Angel and gas masks. We can turn that off now. All right, so here we go. Angels and gas masks. Oh, I see what he meant by models now. Have a model do it. Okay, that makes sense. This is, we only begin to notice them, the reflection of fire and in the shadow of our sins. Anonymous. Angels and gas masks. Sounds cool. It's got my interest right away. The idea was a post-apocalyptic future where not even the angels can protect us from our own selves, and the world has become so violent with war and toxic chemicals that Earth is slowly dying. So, I believe it was brought together through stop animation. Oh, is it a video? Is this like an actual movie? Am I missing that this isn't a comic and this is a movie? That'd be pretty cool. This is an art book, not a comic or a graphic novel. Okay, so this is 100-page paperback and hardback is available. The rewards. After 6 years of this art series, I've decided to wrap it up and make a complete book of all the models and some additional material, including some never-before-seen pieces. The idea came to me back in 2010. I began building a few images, my concept for the series, and soon after I had models flooding me with photo shoots, and it was a hit. I quickly found art in several local galleries and a couple of magazines international. So this is like a book of different apocalyptic angels. So that's kind of cool, actually. There's a DVD cover. That's throwing me. I wish he was still on the program so he could explain that. So there's a book. Looks badass, man. Looks badass. If you want us to promote it, we will. I want to know, like, is there an actual video? So definitely check back in with us. I'll reach out to you at the end. I want to know more about this. So I'm interested. You got me hooked. We're going to wrap it up now. We're going to talk about how Fetish Babies is coming back to Kickstarter on October 1st. We mentioned that. And right after October 1st, and this is a little bit of teaser art, playtime begins October 1st. We have just today found out that Kickstarter experiences its next altar life on October 15th. This will be issue number 4. All right, guys, I ran longer than I wanted to today. Thank you for tuning in. Jaxie's playing with some cards. It's time for me to go and be daddy. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next week on the next edition of Kickstarter Talk.